AskReddit by Jkila94. What's the most boring sport you can think of? I watched competitive Excel on ESPNU last night. They tried to make it interesting, but Excel is not a spectator sport. I still watched the full hour and would watch it again. Like Microsoft Excel? Spreadsheets? Walking sport. You try and walk and try to be first. Speed walking is one of those sports where I'm simultaneously awed that they walk a marathon faster than I can run one and utterly baffled by the point of it. World Origami Championships. So much it's only on pay-per-view. I heard that those championships got folded due to low viewer numbers. I watched pretty much all the events in the Tokyo Summer Olympics. By far, surfing was the most boring. It's 90% just them paddling waiting for a wave, and then when one finally comes they jump up and whip the nose of the board around for a couple seconds. That's it. That's the sport. For me, surfing is a spiritual personal sport. The idea of making it competitive is just silly. Fishing. Now he's casting again, Ron, but this time he's using his yellow lure with the feathery thing on the end of it. That's the Kentucky fly sniffer lure Billy Bob. Olympic slow pistol, or air rifle shooting. Even the athletes look like they are struggling to stay awake. I see your point about shooting, but they look like that because to shoot accurately you need to relax your body as much as possible. I thought curling until our country's team was in the Olympic competition for curling. I once walked into my local bar to find the ice curling on TV all my buddies and I said, what the fuck is this on for? But less than an hour later everyone in the bar was screaming and rooting for their newfound favorite athletes. Now whenever it's on I get so stoked. Start betting and there is no boring sports. I thought the generals would you. Chess, but hear me out, if you're not a professional or a half decent player, is just watching two players look at pieces and move them around a bit. This is the real answer to the whole ass topic. Lots of things are boring to watch if you know nothing about it. Anything is interesting if you're part of it and know the mechanics. Everyone's showing their hatred for a particular sport and I'm struggling to even come up with a single one I haven't enjoyed watching at an elite level. Something about watching the most passionate and best makes anything fun. There is something satisfying about watching someone be very good at something. It doesn't matter that much what that something is, to a point. Croquet. It's barely a game. It's billiards crossed with golf in the garden. Surprisingly skillful. I watched this old boy who could barely walk. Made it look easy. Then I tried. Jeez. Sumo as a spectator. Lots of ritual and standing around, punctuated by about 8-10 seconds of action. I still love watching sumo though. Love sumo. NASCAR racing. They just drive around a circle until someone crashes and then they drive in circle more slowly. But the soothing hum of the engines is great for napping. I used to think the same, but then I was at a NASCAR race working on a documentary and it was one of the most exciting experiences I've ever felt in my chest. I roll Quidditch. It looks so ridiculous. That or hobby horse show riding. Golf. I honestly find it so relaxing to watch. Talking in hushed tones, muted clapping, the occasional strike of a ball. Top tier background noise for a nap. But watching the last hour of competitive masters can be really fun. Esports. I play video games, but I can't stand watching other people play games. I like watching people play games on YT when they're making funny commentary. Just watching an esports event is too boring for me. Manchester United. Well, ultra marathons are usually 5 to plus 24 hours long and they aren't exactly exciting for participants in the conventional sense. Spectators just get to hang out all day and chill until the race comes to them. I can't imagine watching a televised race in real time would be anything but boring. That's an easy one for anyone who's ever been to a swim meet. Swimming is by far the most boring sport to watch, and worst of all, the meets take forever. They'll ruin an entire Saturday. Maybe, but https://yahoo.be/zpuzzrcfg?sieyewtrjtncso2n. Baseball to me just because of how long it is. Just for your information, they introduced a pitch clock, cut down the game time by like 20-30 minutes or something like that. Pocket billiards. Beating your meat isn't a sport. For most people. I think 82% of the population will disagree with me, but college football is a beating. First, the games take up half of your day. Who has time for that? Second, the same teams are always at the top. Always. I'm not sure why anyone except for Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, etc. even care, because I'll go ahead and tell you that it's not your season. And don't even get me started on bowl games. Point being, I can get into pretty much any sport if I can understand what's at stake. In college football, it seems like they're playing just because that's what they've always done. You mean you don't want to watch the Cabernet Sauvignon Bota Box Bowl sponsored by Trader Joe's? Watching golf. Playing golf, however, is pretty sweet. Women's basketball. I wish they would admit that lowering the hoop to 9 feet would make them as popular as the NBA. It's a shame they refuse to lower it. It doesn't make them or the game lesser, but they refuse, and for that reason there have been more people on the ice than dunks in the WNBA. Chess, if you are watching. I like watching chess. You can learn a lot.